Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I have decided to do one more Daily Color Big because it is the last coloring of the week. It'll give us 3 days in the Daily Color, and it's possible we'll be able to finish up on Monday. So I did start... Did I say this is episode 276? It's episode 276. No, this is episode 277. I am losing track. So I worked a little bit last night on this corner, wanting to really flesh it out for you guys, but here I am this morning, and I was going to sit down and color more, and I thought, I don't remember doing many of the leaves with you, so I'm going to do a few more leaves, and then we will continue on with our brick down into the shelves. I hope everybody is going to have a lovely Saturday, or when you are watching this, whatever day of the week it is for you, that it's a good one. I don't think I have said recently how much I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and supporting my channel. It has been loads of fun. I really enjoy the experience of, I guess I would call it, learning to relax and color, since my coloring years have all been more intense type coloring, and this is relaxing to me. So these pencils, let's talk about the Brutfuner squares, are really virtually just like the 520 set that I have. I've used my mom's 180, just like them. I just don't feel any difference. I love the shape of the square. I don't know that the formula can be any different. I compared the ends. The ends of these are not, I can't show you because my camera is so close, but the ends of these are not closed, and I compared the ends of these to the ends of the 520, and they look the same. They feel the same. If you blindfold me and don't tell me what I'm using, the only way I know, of course, is that it's the square by the feel. They have a slightly drier feel than the colors. The colors, I feel, are a very easy, super easy to use for a person just starting out. They're very forgiving. They fill in the tooth very quickly. They're fast. They have lots of color. They are definitely a little bit more on the oily side of things. Not oily, maybe waxy is the word, because they're more buttery, creamy, where these are more silky. And they do not feel like they're the same formula. I know they're made in the same factory, but they just do not feel the same to me. They even have the same on certain lines of them. They have the same numbers and color names. So I don't know what's up with that. It's possible that the squares, the 180s, and the 520 that I have, which is the flower box set, are even more the same. Hard to know. Without actually having the real story, I can only speculate. So these are on this paper. So this paper is a little bit tricky to work with. You'll see I'm having to repeat. I'm trying to put my lay down with the dark. I've sharpened it, but it takes a little bit of work, and I have to rotate to get that dark, this dark look that I'm after. Takes some work. It is not instantaneous. Then you do, to get a nice blend, you have to soften your edges. I think that Prismacolors you can smush, and Color actually have a little bit of that smushability. You can, you don't have to make sure that you do these light layers to the edges, like feathering out your color, to be able to get a really good blend going. And moving to the middle color. So my colors for the greens, which I haven't shared in a long time, 79, 81, and the lightest color is 42. So these take a little bit longer to work, but they're more workable. The color, once you're done, you've filled the tooth, you don't get a lot of rework. You're done. You could probably erase and get some of that tooth back to be able to do some adjusting. These you can keep layering over the top, and they do not get all burnished, slick looking and feeling without some work. So they have a lot more play time, I would call it. I don't know if I'm going to fill in all of these leaves, but I do want to get the corner filled in more fully so you can get the full impact before I go away and finish it off. I left a poll last week asking if you guys wanted to see more of the finishing of the background than less, and pretty much the results were, yep, I want to see it. And I am happy to oblige. So I am adding my own veining to these. I'm adding 2 longer ones at the end where the ivy leaf is fattest, and then one there, trying to make them not line up perfectly. Then when I blend out the medium and light colors, that bright kind of melts away a little bit. And the medium color here is pretty blunt. I have not sharpened it lately. I am okay with it being blunt. Leaving some highlights on the ends, the tips, not being realistic necessarily, just a nice, whimsical, oh look, there's my hub out there, picking up garbage. Oh, he's coming over here. Nope. Yes. I might have to pause. Oh, he's just leaving a gift at the back door. We're in a little bit of a cool spell. There is some cool weather north of us, all across the eastern states. So we have had, I don't know, 70, I think yesterday was 79. The day before that, the high was 74. Every Friday we have an ice cream truck come by in the evening, and I got to ride my bike there with a hoodie on. First time for me with a hoodie this year, this summer, I should say. So that's what a leaf looks like without the veining in. I'm not really too particular what order I do things in. It's just whatever pencil I have in my hand. I like to keep things varied and interesting. I can do some shadows here. Any of the leaves that overlap. This one I actually gave a brown shadow already, which I did not need to. I could do green or brown. I can vary it, just anything to make it not look too overly regular. My parents now have been here 2 weeks and 2 days. My mom has been so busy just getting everything in order here. She has not colored once. Not once. I even had a friend over and we colored. We did an in-person buddy color. I will share that I don't have a picture of what she has colored. I didn't even ask if she would be comfortable with me sharing it. But she took it away, not finished yet. And we use different colors. But I will share that tomorrow at the color weekly review. I have not used the lightest tone yet. I think what I'm going to do, and I hope I remember, the episode where I did the, I did like 4 or 5 leaves, and one of the flower, or these flower bits, I will link to that in case you guys want to go back and see what that is like, because I went and colored all the flowers off camera. I didn't realize that there weren't more. I thought there were more. I really did. Since we will be finishing this page early next week, I'm already thinking I need to pick a few for you guys to choose from so we can move right on to a 3rd page. There we go, we're slowly building. I am really not good at like making myself like start in this corner and work my way out. I kind of like work in a small area. I kind of keep my pencil moving. I think there is no right or wrong. If you like to just be very methodical, because that is what is calming for you, start in the upper corner and work your way out. This is, I have switched to 42, which is the lightest one. And it is just going through, and I'm minimizing my white highlights. I am now kind of burnishing the other colors together, smoothing everything out. I don't know why, but this particular leaf came out really rough, and this one's pretty rough. But I want them to be different, so that's okay. Let's see if I can move down a little bit here. I'm almost trying to take the center line that is the ink line that's brown, and I'm trying to cover over it with enough green that it looks dark green, is what I am trying to do. One more little set here, and then we will move on to brick. Don't forget to rotate your pencil. If you are using the Brutfuners, that's how you get the sharp, darkest green. And then I do some little bitty ovals coming down the center, softening as I move out, trying not to have every single leaf use the exact same amount of this green. The darkest green, I think, is going to be what gives you the different look. The middle and the light green are just like the color over the top. This is where, with the dark, you get to make every leaf look like an individual. Like that. So, moving to the middle, this is again the one that's not sharpened. I still can see that I will have to come back. Pretty much every one of these I've had to go back with the dark. This middle green really softens the leaf, and then I go back in and add the veining again. I'm darkening this underleaf. That little bit right there, I have 114 in my hand, and I am going to make this brown. But see how I can't stop? It's just automatic. I go around and my hand just kind of moves all on its own. So now I'm coming back in, very sharp, hard pressure, making sure I rotate so that my point is as pointy as it can be. I will sharpen it if I feel that will help. With the lines, I have not done the light. Moving to 42, which is the light color. And if you don't have the Brutfuners, any 3 greens, dark, medium, light. I don't think you need more than 3 with these size of leaves. Though if you really wanted to vary it up, you could make them fall leaves. I started this before I was in my fall mode. Alright, so there is the corner. Setting these down, grabbing my 3 browns, they're for the brick. Just pausing to take a sip of my tea. I don't always drink tea. It's just been cool enough in the morning that I feel comfortable with something warm in my belly. My favorite is English breakfast tea. Hub is an oolong tea guy. So we've got these leaves, we've got the bricks. You've seen how I started very dark, and as I get closer here to the center, I am fading in and starting to show the detail. And then I'm going to fill up my camera there. And we are just going along here with these bricks. I've started a little bit of shadowing right here on the left side. I talked about darkening this shelf as I went. I'm going to add in a little more hint of wood grain. These pencils do really good at the wood grain. They just are so nice for this particular task. I don't know what it is about them that appeals to me for wood. Alright, so now we're going under here. You can see where I'm trying to emphasize the brick. So I just added some dots. dots and little lines. I want this to look porous, so my drawing of these lines has been pretty rough. That is my intent. I'm leaving some area without any of the lightest taupe color, or the medium color. The lightest color is the color of the mortar. The middle and the dark are what I'm doing the bricks. This is the middle color. It is 26. Remember that the darkest color is 114. I can use 26 to smooth out some of these lines if I want. I don't want the bricks to become an experiment in realism that takes me forever. And then once I get this corner done, that establishes how detailed I need to color the rest of the page. So I do want to be careful not to get too crazy and give myself, you know, a 10-hour job. And I'm done with those days for the most part, wanting to color to relax. I still haven't gone back to the bridle that I started. Someday. So this is me slipping in 114 again. And I will just be moving back and forth between the three colors. I do need a shadow line here all the way across, because we are working on the shelves, getting all of the shady bits today. These do erase really nicely, so if you get anything too dark, you can clean it up. Yesterday I cleaned up something, yesterday or the day before, and oh yeah, I had a green line, and it came off with the mono 0. I didn't even use the electric. These are nice and forgiving, and then I have a lighter hand, so going with light pressure first makes it easier to make adjustments. Okay, can you see what's going on? You cannot. I have moved on down. Okay, so all I did was take and add these shadow lines on the left side. So in hindsight, here is something interesting. I did not leave these bricks with enough gap. I didn't think about the impact of then having the shadow line. So what I'm going to do, we have a very wide mortar section, and this one is already, it's like I went upward a little bit. So I don't need to make this brick any bigger, but I will make these thicker. And hopefully that will be good enough. And like I said, this will go through its ugly phase. It will look choppy, rough, and incomplete, and I will just keep building my layers until I am happy with it. So right here I have 2 bricks that I had to adjust. You can see my erase marks, and I bet you those erase marks are going to melt away. I'm going to move down a little bit more so you can see the basket. I still have some more detail to put in the bottom 2 shelves. Hint of wood grain. I did really good on these bricks. So these bricks are great because I can do my shadow lines. The shadow lines don't interfere with my look of the 3D of the brick itself. Okay, I want to block in. Oh, I should probably do these. I was in a block in the mortar. It seems like that mortar taupey tan color really gives it a nice finished look. We've got the pots. Okay, I said I was going to grab the taupe. I want to do some mortar starting up here. Mortar is also very porous, so I'm just doing scrumbling, and I am more than happy to have variation. Does not have to look smooth. I would prefer it to not look smooth. You know, this is interesting. This is not the right color. I grabbed, let's see if I can find the right color. Oh, I think it's this. Okay, 64. Luckily, this is a pretty forgiving light color. Let's go up here. Is 64 my color? Yes. This is one of my favorite colors in this set. As you can see, I'm trying to avoid having to erase that 26 was that color. I am hoping to be able to warm it up. Let's see if I can move back up here, come across a bit. I will be backing this out at the end to do a nice reveal. I think the backgrounds are so fun. It's what turns it into something more than just a coloring page. Okay, let's move on down. Some more shadow work to be done. All right, I'm grabbing the middle, 27. You know what? Where did that? I'm going to correct everything. 67. Look at the difference. How subtle it is. These are two grays. These somehow 114 got next to 26 and 27. What I really needed was 67 and 64. So there's the subtle difference. I don't even know if that's really easy to see. So these were the two that I grabbed. These are the correct ones. Oh, and then even though they're square, one managed to fall on the floor. So, going with the middle color, this is the area that I want to mimic. I'm just going to be sketchy, wanting to keep the brick looking porous, just like I did with the mortar. See what's going on over here with the water can and the tools. Keep having to move across more. Oh, I should talk about how I placed the book. So yesterday I talked about that I am left-handed and I want to move across. I actually folded the other half of the book so that I can have it at a 45-degree angle going up and away to the left, which is what I didn't do yesterday, and it made it very awkward for what I was doing yesterday. So today I went ahead and played around with placement, and I am way more comfortable. So you need to, if you are coloring and it doesn't feel right, play around with the different heights, whether you need to be sitting up, whether you can actually be comfortable in a recliner, and what angle you want your book to be. Don't be afraid to fold it like I have done. Literally, if I move over, see how it's curled? Because that is the most comfortable way for me to color. put any shadow on the spade here, if that's what it's called. Haven't seen any brick lines that I really want to like remove. I do want to erase some of these solid top lines and make them a little more subtle. So I will play around with that. As soon as I get the color blocked in, go back over here. Now I've angled to a sharp portion of the tip. Let there be some funny scratchy lines with my sharp side of the tip. This right here looks a little too shadow-like, not, it's like so straight. So what I'm gonna do, and I don't want to look at the bricks as individuals, but I do want there to be some flaws. This is 114. This is the brick that you'll see my erase marks. I can still see them. Where I was fixing, I cut it off at a point I did not like. Going in and adding some highlights, rotating, trying to find a sharp tip without necessarily having to sharpen, because I like that I have access to some of the flatter, smoother parts of this tip. The tip itself, as you rotate it, it behaves differently. Okay, I'm going to grab the eraser, and I'm going to do I could use the electric, but then the electric might zip off too much and make it a harsh white area, which I am not wanting. No, I need to add more. This is coming along. Coming along. So at this point, doing such a big space, what I will do, this is where I leave it, I walk away, I'll have it sitting somewhere on a table, which I do like that I have space to be able to leave things. Of course, right now I have, the bomb has gone off in here because we have all of our stuff relocated with us from when we hit the road. So I do have a mess, and I will be working on that mess. And I can walk by, I can sit down for 5 minutes, do a little more work, probably have that sitting out for a few days. Trying not to be too picky about the individual bricks. Like this brick I think is too fat, but I like there will be some fat bricks, there will be some thin bricks. Okay, so I have some shadows. We're going to focus on this shelf for a moment. Let's get this darkened up. This brick needs a little more dark. Okay, now we have, this brick is too dark. The whole top, it can't be all that color. Going to go in here with 114. I have a little bit of a resist along the bottom of the ink, so I am going to go heavy pressure all the way across all 3 shelves. This is the only set of bricks I don't like. All the other 2 look good. Okay, so the top shelf now is looking, because all 3 shelves need to look similar. Okay, before I move past the basket, I want more. I don't know that I like that. That might need a little work. All I'm doing here is, since I have little bits of white where 114 did not want to stick right close up to the sepia print. This is the same thing with the small victories. I hope it makes sense. Even here, right here, is a little bit of light. That is the resist on either side of the ink. And so I just have to keep working it until I get the coverage nearest the ink the way I want it. And I find that that resist look only happens with the darker colors. So I'm going to do the same thing up here. I have to go all the way across. Heavy pressure, using the pointy side of this tip. Again, I should say something. My hand has been all over this bottom area, the palm. I am not using glassine. You guys should test your pencils and make sure that your pH balance of your hand does not alter. And if it was Prismacolor, I would have glassine. These pencils are much more forgiving and don't smear. They are not a messy pencil. But my pH balance is different than yours, or chemical balance of my hand. So be sure to put something to protect. You can even use a piece of copy paper if you need to, if that's all you have. All right, I have to bring down this shadow line. I have to soften it up. Now I'm going on the other side of that line, darkening it up. And now I feel like I should check the time, see how we're doing for time. Oh, 48 minutes, look at that. I'm going to move the camera up. I'm going to stop right now. And let's take a look at what we've done today. Sorry for all the shaking. And I think I want to move up even more. And now I won't be able to see what you guys see. I think we're going to get that third shelf in. So you can see where I have fleshed out this upper corner the most. And as I'm moving across through the shelves, I get a little rougher on this right side. That's what I will be working on. And I don't want to be overzealous on detailing the bricks, because I want the shelves and the pots, all of the little gardening elements are what I want to emphasize. But I did want to dress up the background into something more than just the plain background. So I will press on. We will next time we meet, it will be to finish the pots area and all of the shadows, this whole bottom shadowing. And I may or may not at that point have worked this other side and got this all filled in. We will see how far I get. So we will do a look at this entire page and where it sits tomorrow at the weekly review. I hope you're enjoying seeing how I work through a background. I am loving this full-size page. I haven't said it lately. It feels like I'm working on a giant page when I work in this book because it is so different than the Small Victories book. And I really love it. It's very fun. So do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing. Thank you all for joining me today. And welcome back if you are returning. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy my content. And I will see you guys tomorrow.